Hello everyone. My name is Atharva Maskar, and I welcome you all to the first episode of Idea to Reality. Today, we have with us the co-founders of SolBlocks, Adarsh Tiwari and Gaurav Raj. SolBlocks Digital Solution is a service-based agency that delivers industry-grade technologies to clients primarily for the Web3 ecosystem. They cover end-to-end NFT project launches, UI/UX development, and custom smart contracts. So, first of all, thanks for joining us, Gaurav and Adarsh.
It's our
Thank you.
pleasure.
Before talking about your journey building Soul Blocks, can you explain what, according to you, is the blockchain and NFT space all about, and what impact can it have on various sectors?
Right. So, to answer that question, basically, just to clear it out, blockchain is like a type of distributed database or a ledger, which you can think of. So, it's distributed across nodes throughout the globe, and there's no one central network which particularly, have authority of all the data. So that makes it very scalable, and also it's very public to everyone in considering all the public networks, and which allows us a lot of transparency. So this is the reason why blockchain has actually expanded a lot in recent days. And based on blockchain is a particular niche called the NFTs, which was something that we used to specialize in, and we still do, and like we are continuing in the space. But yeah, NFT, it stands for non-fungible tokens. So what that means is basically you need to any asset which you have that can be converted into a particular NFT assets by tokenizing them, and it is represented by a particular token value. So not to get too much technical about it, so you can think of NFT as an asset which is in the form of a digital token. That's it.
Okay. And as a student, what was your journey like getting into blockchain and then later starting a business around it?
Since 10th standard, I was really into finance, right? I was really into finance. I started reading about it and I started investing since I was in 10th standard. So when in first year we started web dev, right? Everybody starts with either web dev or mobile dev. So I started, even me and Raj, everyone started with web dev. And then while we finished the whole web dev and we participated in some hackathons, we realized that web dev is not we have where this whole thing is ending, right? This is just a first step. So now we need to pick something which is much more complex and like much more expandable and scalable. So a lot of my friends went into machine learning. I tried machine learning as well, but I didn't like it that much. I don't know why. But when I found blockchain, it is a proper mixture of financial aspect, and a technical aspect, basically. So that's why I think that that was the particular reason on my personal journey why I started really liking blockchain. And then I started learning about blockchain. Me and Raj, we both started learning about blockchain. Like we used to write like a to-do list. Okay, we need to make mint our first NFT. We need to make our airdrop token. We need to make this, that. Basically, that's how we start.
And just to add on to that, I believe the first recognition or the first taste of blockchain we got was when we were nominated among the top 100 Binance startups. So this was the group that we won a hackathon, and our project was actually good enough to make a mark on the Binance team, and we were shortlisted for that. So that really pushed us to take a better look into blockchain and what it is and what the potential is.
Okay. So, were there any projects that got you interested specifically in blockchain?
We were doing a lot of hackathons in like we went to DJ Sangvi. We did a lot of hackathons. So I got to know one real simple thing. You want to learn something, watch YouTube tutorials, but you want to learn something 10x in 10x speed, start joining and start participating in hackathons. So I was like just figuring out which type of hackathons are happening and what sort of hackathons are happening in this space. So what I got to know is about Solana Foundation. Earlier that time, even Tanmay Bhatt was promoting that. So, I
Yeah.
just got a link. Okay, I joined it and I started talking with people and I got to know about various things, various challenges, and one basically project is Metaplex, which provides a UI for people, to make basically candy machines and make certain. So basically, it eases the application, and the people don't have to put a lot of effort in creating and minting their NFTs basically. So that was one project which I found really interesting, and I was like, okay, if this is something I want to basically this is something which motivates me and I want to work according around.
And how did you start Soul Blocks then?
Okay, we joined Solana organization and I was representing my agency over there. So one client came and we actually had a deal where we made XYZ amount and we delivered him a proper functioning website. And then slowly I was researching about the market and I got to know that there are X number of services, right? There are X number of services which a lot of companies want. There are several companies, several projects which want X amount of services, but not like the way people are doing it not correct first of all, and there is very less amount of people providing that service. So me and Raj then we sat together and we were like, see, there is a big opportunity in market, very big opportunity in market, if we can actually invest first 3 4 weeks into learning how to quickly basically start providing all of these services and do a proper branding. Because see, I focus mainly on sales and marketing point of view, right? Obviously I do tech, I used to, but since Raj joined the team, I was never concerned about tech and how tech is gonna be handled. So I was focusing on sales and marketing point of view. So what I did is I stopped my pitching my Web2 company because it was really difficult to make people understand that what we are doing in Web2 and how that specializes us in Web3 as well. So we basically, me and Raj sat and we were discussing ki kya services we have to provide. And then we basically created a new company. So blockchain based blocks and Solana and like basically Sol. So we made our company called agency called SolBlocks and we branded it properly like a Web3 company. And then 4 weeks we sprinted and we learned all of the services which was needed by our clients, and then we started providing it. That's how we landed our first client, and that's how we basically started the whole journey. But there is a lot of things related to tech which Raj will share, which was managed by him.
Right. So before that, just to emphasize on the branding's importance, initially when we didn't have a website, when we didn't have a name or like some kind of organization which we can relate to, like other used to spend hours talking to clients, like trying to convince them to work with us. Now, the moment we released our website, now that part was kind of automated. So now they just simply go to our website, they see the all we do, all the previous clients, and like I believe that made his life a lot easier. So the branding is a big deal when you come to like when you need to scale it up to a large extent. So that was really helpful and obviously a key point to be noted for any business to scale up. Now, moving on to the tech part, I believe like initially when we had like less number of clients, it was okay to just work manually on projects, taking care of each project one by one. Now, later on, like there was a part when it was peak bull run, like there were lots of projects incoming. So in that moment, what really helped us was automation of project building. Like as you know, blockchain, even though it's like a it may sound very technical or tech savvy, but it isn't that really, complex. So what we used to do was we created some scripts, we created some automations which would automatically create the backend. And then the front end is obviously is just UI UX. Every developer might be knowing. We just need to change few components here and there. So, so the thing that really helped us scale in terms of delivering the projects was kind of automation. So we didn't really, focus on sticking to one plan. We didn't really just stay put where we are. We tried to involve new technologies. We tried to involve automations. Just to give you an example, there was one week, I believe, where we kind of delivered more than 15 projects, I believe. If not, I guess that was the bare minimum. We don't even remember that the count that hectic that week was, but again, it was possible because of continuously learning and staying in loop and trying to automate things and never like actually just being okay with what where we are.
Yeah, so just like to add one point that you should have that vision, Okay, you are basically best in your level, your league right now. But there is always a better and bigger league you have to play in. So if you have to be, if you see yourself in that league, what is stopping you to prepare for that? So that's what we used to do. Like, okay, Raj, we used to be like on a call, Adarsh, and like he used to say me, Adarsh, we are right now doing very well with 5 6 clients. But what will happen if suppose we get 10 clients? So we used to invest 1 hour in discussing how we will handle the whole situation when we have 10 clients, then 15 clients, then 20 clients. Basically, that's what.
Okay. Talking from a client perspective, what do you think a client needs the most in terms of maybe a UI UX design?
First of all, he needs the most is one thing, reassurance that you are the right person to complete the whole thing. It doesn't matter if you basically, if you have worked on 30 projects, 50 projects, because every client needs something specific, right? They are looking for something specific. Even if you have a very vast portfolio, even if you have 50 projects you have already worked on, but you have to still start from zero understand the client. Like, just empty your brain that you haven't worked on anything yet. You need to understand the client's requirement, do the proper research, and come up with a reassuring pitch that, boss, this is exactly what you need. I know the product fit. I know the market you are targeting, and this is how I'm gonna deliver that product. And that's basically what a guy needs. Because I never had a cold start. I'll tell you that. I never had a cold start because, like, I had zero clients, right? Initially, in the first week of starting the company, when I had this, okay, we'll go with the company route, with the Web3 route. In the first week, we basically onboarded 5 clients, right? And all the 5 clients were in the first week, and I told them very frankly that you are my first client, to all of them, because all of them were not confirmed, right? But the reason why all of the 5 were confirmed and onboarded, because I did the right type of research, and I did deliver the right type of a pitch to them that, boss, this is what you are looking for, and this is how I'm gonna do it. That's all you need to convince it.
Okay.
Clients is basically an insecure girlfriend or boyfriend. You just need to take care of them अच्छे से.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where were your clients based basically? So India
So
or
no, we have hardly dealt with around 5 to 6 Indian clients. That's all. All of our major client base is in US and some of them in Europe,
okay. Do you
basically.
feel there's any particular reason for that most of the clients are based outside India?
I'll tell you why. Because tapping into an Indian market, you have to really be competitive with the rates, right? But I didn't have that type of a vision, because I feel like when you are basically doing something very correctly, right? Do the brand. I am investing myself into branding. I am investing my energy into hard work of satisfying and reassuring clients, right? So I don't need to, like, sacrifice or adjust on the pricing. I would rather increase the quality of my service and target people who are ready to. I'm not saying that we were never approached by Indian clients, but we have a certain, basically price structure, and that is not always appreciated by Indian clients, and US clients always appreciate the quality of the services, right? So that's why we majorly deal with US clients and Europe clients, because they have a bigger budget, first of all, and then they really value, if you make their life easy, they really value that. Whereas in clients, it really depends on what their budget is. Everything circulates around their budget.
And also, I believe there's a difference in mentality as well. Like US clients, what they believe is कि if महंगा है तो अच्छा होगा. So, that's what they believe. But Indians, they try to always juice it out. जितने कम से कम में they can manage. That will be their first priority. But yeah, that could lead to a depletion in the product quality, I guess.
Okay, so as you grew up, you would have needed a team. You need people whom you could trust and count upon. So, what were the parameters or departments you were looking for while hiring?
So I'll tell you, in building a startup, right? The most important things are only 2 things: having a right team to rely upon, and having, like, basically having a client base. So this is, if you have a right team, if you have people who you can trust on, you are 50% done in having a $1 million valuation company. I'm not even, like, kidding right now. If you have the right people to trust, you have basically in the 100% mark, you have done the 50% mark, basically. You will be surprised, but majority of my team, of or our team or SolBlocks team, is from our college only. And I had that special type of eye, basically when I talk to people, I observe them, I observe their qualities, so I would appreciate if that I have that type of a skill. But I rather more appreciate when they have that curiosity to learn and adjust, because as a CEO or someone, as a CEO or managing, basically I was managing the whole company. I got to know this very quickly, that if I have to succeed, if I have to grow, I have to focus more on getting the clients, right? And I have to also focus on the skill of delegating the whole work basically the whole work. My initial snipes were Gaurav. Basically, he is very close friend of mine, so we have worked on a lot of things before this. So he was basically, I never sniped him. He was always a part of SolBlocks, basically. But he will tell why he was not 100%, onboarded from the day one. And then Trushant, I guess uh, he also did a workshop right now, and he's also like a top-notch guy. I just have to, like, see, I am very creative, but I was not very well, equipped with the whole Figma thing. So I used to just sit with Trushant, and he used to say that, boss, this is what I need, this is the thing, and that is how I want it to be, and then that's all I needed to do basically. And Trushan used to take care of literally everything. And there was a time when it was so hectic. That guy was studying his GRE, right? He was focusing on his career. At the in the basically in the side, he was doing SolBlocks full time, and he was delivering almost in every 2 days. He was making one Figma. So like every 2 to 3 days, he used to do one research. He used to sit with me, he used to see what I want, and used to do that. And on side by side, all the feedbacks which were coming in, he used to work on that as well. Second guy, big shout out to Jay as well. He's the guy who has been handling the whole front end and the back end with alongside Raj, basically under the supervision of Raj. But I will share a story with you. Basically, Diwali was around, and we didn't get to celebrate Diwali because there was one project we took, and some basic things went here and there. And me, Raj, and Jay, we literally didn't sleep whole 2 nights. And literally when everyone in family was calling us for puja and everything, we had like a launch, and we were sitting and like figuring out bugs and everything. And then the next guy is Rachit. I remember I used to like tell him, and I used to like basically call him ki join without saying him kitna time lagne wala hai. Join the call. He used to sit with me and used to make him work till I used to feel that no, this is top notch quality. So the longest duration of a single call we have worked on with I personally with Rachit is around 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours, that guy was not allowed to go anywhere and just sit with me and finalize the thing until it is picture perfect. So basically, that's what my founding team was like. They don't take easy route. They don't give me bahanas. They are not like, oh, I cannot, I want a right balance and anything. And 99%, and I don't need to speak about Raj. Basically, he's equally, whatever I have done, equally or more than equal, only he has contributed in basically raising the whole company to another level. And when I speak about my founding team, that's what I want to say, that when you have people like this who don't want to take easy routes, right, then only you will basically be playing in the major league. That's all.
And I think there are different kinds of people as well. Like Adarsh's parents were very supportive of business ideas and etc. But my parents were quite primitives. Like they always wanted me to study first, like to masters kar lo, then kamana shuru karna. Like they're more into learn first and then start earning. So that was one very big concern for me because initially when others proposed ki, like we have so many clients, we need to work so much. I wasn't really 100% sure if I can share this to my parents. So I kind of hid it. And during that time, we were also preparing for GATE exams. So, which is an altogether different thing which required a lot of time. So, we used to do GATE exams, and I used to, रात में I used to work with him on projects. And then में GATE classes, GATE exams के लिए preparation चलते रहे. And apart from that, we had college as well, college K exams and etc. So now one day my father noticed that this guy is working on something, not sleeping, not eating, and he believed that I was just working on some freelance project for some quick bucks. जिसकी वजह से I'm just hampering my studies and health as well. So that was something I need to hide for a very long time until we had something substantial to show to my parents, like, okay, this is not something random or something very short-sighted. So it was tough for me. Like once I believe I could have shared this to my parents a lot earlier. That might have made my life easier, but at the end they were like quite happy and so okay with it. Like even today they want me to like beta masters kar le, beta एक backup सोच के रख ले. So just in case this happens up and down. But again, that's their mentality. They just worry about me. But yeah, this is just a type. I believe two types of people. They just need to have strong vision to come together and like fight against odds, and eventually it will come off. The hard work is putting in, and everything is planned. And on paper, if there are things which are getting executed, I think just trust the process, and it will be eventually on your achievement list only.
Okay, so, while working on projects, was there a time where you uh, overcommitted, but you were not able to deliver?
Again, the same Diwali story basically, but it was not over commitment. So see, I'll tell you a basic way of why my agency is different than others, right? I have nearly in peak time, I had nearly around 15 to 16 people working with me, with us basically, right? And my thing is straightforward, that we are at that point we were not that big of a company, to have that burden of paying everyone monthly. So I had this very simple thing. Boss, I have 4 front-end developers, I have 4 back-end developers, and I have a lot of people working with me. So I will just pitch the product. I will just pitch the idea of the client. Okay, this is the idea. Ideation part is this, and this is how we'll be basically implementing it. So it was never the case that we overcommitted, but definitely there has been times where we have skipped colleges for 2 days straight, skipped sleep for 2 days straight, because there was one particular bug, one particular thing which we were not able to complete. So yes and no, both are the answers, because I knew that it will create a burden on me and my teammates, but I couldn't help it. I have to take it. It's an opportunity knocking the door. And because I also worry about my image, once I say no to one of the clients which are ready to pay us what we want, right? The tech stack is under our control. Like, we can build that thing. They are very well aware. They are very well aware of what our pay structure is like, and they are happy to pay us that much. And if we still say no, then that might hamper my image, right? That SolBlocks is saying no to clients. So I never did that. Basically, that's the whole thing.
There was one project, we were supposed to complete it like on a set time, but it was delayed. But the marketing of that product was targeted for that particular day. So that resulted in, yeah, some kind of backlashes for us. But yeah, I believe that's a part of the process. You learn from setbacks. I mean, that was one period of time we really thought like, oh yeah, bhai, khatam, SolBlocks khatam. Like that guy was mad at us, we were not able to finish on time, and he was just yelling at it. But again, it was just heat of the moment. He was trying to be, practical about his approach, his marketing techniques being failing. But again, we were not able to complete it on time. But eventually we did. We took some extra days. We had extra team members which were trying to fill in. But yeah, that was just one major setback that I could remind of.
Yeah, but we learned a lot from that particular thing. And if I can change anything, I would change nothing from that situation, because we got to learn a lot, actually a lot. Like, taking client, actually asking the right type of questions, we learned that day. So preparing a scope of work, a right type of a scope of work is very important. That's something which I learned that day.
Okay, as a
Yeah.
student, most of the projects people work on are pretty basic college level projects. So what was the
Right.
difference did you observe while making scalable and secure projects that used by thousands of people? And what was your approach towards it?
Yeah, so I think, college level projects, I believe it's still the same, but the difference is it targets more than 10,000, 20,000 people. So I believe scalability, which is like looked upon right now at college level, ki kya hi hai, like hackathon mein bana liya, how many people are going to use it? We don't care. But that's where the actual performance issues come when, we used to make minting sites for projects, and there were like more than like 10,000 NFTs minted in like minutes. So now the website needs to have enough infrastructure so that it can handle that kind of load. So I believe that's the key point, and everything specific about a project that depends solely on client only. But what actually sets you apart from a good service provider is how it can manage lots of people on your website.
Like,
Okay.
there should be a vision. There should be a vision. You should know your product. You don't need to worry when you know that the max this product is gonna be captured, the max amount of people this product is gonna capture is 5,000 people. Then your vision should be how to handle 10,000 people. Because if you're working with 5,000 and the max is 5,000, then what if there is some plus and minus, right? So, like, there should be a proper room of, like a little safe zone. Basically, you should have that. So our main focus was basically to, stress test everything before putting it out for the public use.
Right.
Okay. And what was your workflow like, right from getting a project to delivering it?
So I'll tell you my work, my thing. Initially, I was doing everything, but then I later realized that, uh, handling client, researching about client, talking to client, and creating a scope of work and asking them the right question was my domain. And then gathering everything, knowledge and everything, billing them, and then bringing that to table and discussing it with Raj, that Raj, ye chahiye, this is how it should be. That's where my part was done. After that, Raj will take on how is to work into that technical part.
Right. So once we have that advance payment, so Adarsh takes a rest, and then I know what the scope of work is. So eventually we discuss, let's say if there's something unique we need to build, We try to build a flow of it, like coding wise, algorithm wise, kaisa rahega. So that's the part of discussion. And then next I start the work onwards. Now I mainly do the blockchain ka backend, the Solana backend part. And then I work along with Jay, and there's one more guy. His name is also Gaurav Konde, like he's from Atharva College. So he also works with us on a freelance basis on different projects. So together we all, just see at the work scope. I try to manage key, like, like if Jay is working on the front end part of it and I'm making the Solana backend, then Gaurav Konde might work on the integration. So like basically dividing the project into modules is a very key factor, because eventually when you have different modules, you can just rearrange them to form a new product. You can just nest it to form a new product. So that's very important. And then uske baad, yeah, that's it. Like once we have the plan in place, we set deadlines, and accordingly we just manage everything. And I believe that has never been a problem. Like plan, deadline, and execute. That's the simple.
Yes. And one more important thing which I really like and I love about my job is about my basically job is that I like to solve problems as well. So suppose we are stuck somewhere, we are not figuring out something. So I then join the call with the team, that tech team, and like I sit and I basically we all like discuss and then finally solve that problem. So that is one more interesting part where I actually volunteer myself. कि अच्छा कुछ problem है, let me jump in and let me sort it out with you guys. That's it.
Yeah, he's really good with that jugadu, like sometimes traditional ways doesn't work. So he comes in and jugad pe jugad fake ke khatam. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where do you see the future of SolBlocks now?
So we have never really, we have never talked about how much we have done business, what we have raised. We are very low key with that. So we have around 100 clients we have worked with, right? And we have almost done 400K US dollar worth of business, right? And the next target we want to achieve is $1 million. So I won't say that I love the process. I love the journey. It was never a goal based thing for me. But if you see that what is the future looking like, then I will definitely say that I want to see my company in next 2 years or in next 1 year to hit $1 million in revenue. Basically, that's the future. And bringing in more people, and then basically supporting the people who supported me on early stage, like Jay doesn't have to stress about anything, Rachit doesn't have to stress about anything, Trushan doesn't have to stress about anything. I can pay them more, I can keep all my friends slash co-workers happy. That's my vision, that's what I want the company. Basically the early supporters, should really have the best of the best life,
So
basically.
alongside, we also have that vision ki like, we should never stop learning. So it's not just SolBlocks. Adarsh is also like working as a product manager, project manager for Strive Tech. And I'm also working as a tech lead for Walsh Wealth Ventures as a side business. And like it's not just, it definitely brings in some stable income, but what it allows us to interact with lots of people, a variety of mindsets. And that in all just brings together, and that just helps in making our own product better, making our own services better in the long.
Yeah.
So basically, when you have not learned from the employee's mindset, right? If you have not learned like how an employee should work, you will never be able to get the most out of an employee. You will never be able to get the most out of delegating the work in the right manner. So that's what basically we are figuring out as well. Because we might be lucky with starting this whole company and reaching to success, but we need to still learn a lot. And that's what me and Raj, on the weekly level basis, as co-founders, as friends, we brag about some stuff we learned. Tu kya kar raha hai? I learned this, I solved this problem. So that is basically a relationship me and Raj share, that we brag and we basically say that I learned this, I learned that, and how we can basically combine all of that and basically put that towards Soul Blocks and making Soul Blocks a success. That's it.
Amazing. That was indeed a very insightful session. I would like to thank on behalf of Rotaract Club of Tharumal Shani for this amazing session, and I wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We are really
Thank
glad
you
to
so
be a
much.
part of
And
it.
yeah, thank you so much. And it was a great time. And thank you so much for inviting us.